What's up, 59 Gaming? I'm the Platinum Chin here with Little Bobby to discuss a topic that is going to be a lot of fun for this week coming up on Pokemon's 25th anniversary, and that is the topic of Z Crystals and will they make a return in the potential Diamond and Pearl remakes that we are so hoping to expect later this year. Just initial thoughts. I'm going to be right off the bat with it. No. Maybe we could change our minds on what we say, but what do you think right off the bat? Are they going to come back?
I don't think they will either, actually. The main reason being, we were talking about this earlier. What they did was granted like a specific move, right, to a specific Pokemon, especially, and they kind of seem to replace that with Dynamaxing. And with Dynamaxing being kind of a popular thing, at least from what I've seen, people really like the Dynamax and Gigantamax forms, and I've heard more of a call for that to come back than anything else.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm not. It's Z Crystals was their gimmick. The Pokemon games since X and Y have had a gimmick, whether it's Mega Evolution, the Crystals, or Gigantamax, and depending on what they want as their gimmick for the game, that's what they'll do. But I feel like if they wanted Z Crystals, they would have made a second game that wasn't Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon with Z Crystals as the main focus of the specialty of the game. Because like we said, every Pokemon could use a Gigantamax move, a Z Crystal move, but not every Pokemon had a specific Z Crystal move to their species of Pokemon. Quite like how Dynamax, every Pokemon can go Dynamax, but not every Pokemon can go Gigantamax. But also I feel like they really fit it into the quote unquote lore of Sun and Moon. I mean, they didn't delve too much into it, but it was like their their culture, kind of, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like region specific to the Alolan region.
Yeah,
kind of like Dynamaxing is region specific to the Galarian region, right? Which is why I don't think we're going to see Dynamaxing either, but that might be a topic for another video.
Yeah.
But a lot of this gimmick stuff that you're talking about, right, coming back to X and Y, Sun and Moon, and then Sword and Shield. If we get any kind of gimmick, I think it's going to be they shoot for the stars and go for a new one. Personally, the Z Crystals, is as fun and interesting as they were. I think they're really trying to shake things up, and we had a discussion, not you and me, but me and Waffles had a discussion just a couple days ago about how Megas were in, Let's Go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one point that I brought up was that in Let's Go, there was only 151 Pokemon. And with 151 Pokemon, you're limiting that game so much and limiting the amount of Pokemon so much that there's going to be like this need to kind of put a little more in there versus, by Diamond and Pearl, there's almost 500 Pokemon. There's like 493, yes, I think.
Yeah, just about 500.
Yeah, if they make all of those Pokemon compatible, and there's hopes that maybe they make some of the new Sword and Shield ones compatible as well, which I would hope too, because that'd be great to bring over the ones that we sweated for in Sword and Shield to like the newer quote unquote game, to bring those over. There's going to be a lot of Pokemon, and I don't think that they're going to need to rely on Megas, Z Crystal, Dynamax if they don't want to, because there's just going to be a plethora of Pokemon for you to choose from and play with.
Yeah, and exactly, and like we said, region specific too. I mean, they made a whole lore about why you could go Dynamax in Sword and Shield. They're the creators. They can write up any reason for it to be anything, but I think you've also got to make it make sense to your audience. I think the most thing that I would expect is they could use the lore of Diamond and Pearl in their favor, because their legendaries alter space time in different dimensions. I mean, if they like you said, reach for the stars, but is reach for the stars a new gimmick, or is reach for the stars we could justify putting in any of the three that we want, and people just have to accept it. Now, like, Z crystals do. Another thing is, would you want it to come back? Would you want Z crystals in the remakes?
I think it would be fine if they did. I wouldn't have anything against it.
Mhm.
It's just I don't think that that's something they would necessarily go for.
Yeah.
And if they are going to bend, that's a really interesting point about bending space time with the legendaries in Diamond and Pearl that I hadn't thought about, because if they're doing that, then who's to say they don't bend space and time to like bring parts of the Galarian region and allow Dynamaxing, right?
Yeah,
And at that point you have the newer Dynamax kind of feature and Gigantamax feature that also basically is the same as the Z crystals, but it actually gives like this cosmetic kind of change, right? This appearance change to your Pokemon too that I think a lot of people enjoyed. So I think that they if they're gonna do that, they'd more likely bring Dynamaxing back, as it's the newer, more relevant thing. Now, again, do I have anything against Z crystals coming back? No. Would I love them back? Sure, because more moves and more powerful stuff is what Pokemon is about. At least to me, I like playing it, collecting, and then getting to those legendaries and pseudo legendaries, and the mythicals. And like, that's what I want to get to.
When the grandiose scale Z crystals are like, it's like using like Dragon Ball Z moves in Pokemon. I thought it was hilarious, ridiculous, over the top, unnecessary, but I loved Z crystals at the same time. Like, pulverizing pancake was the name of Snorlax's Z crystal move. He woke up with the Awarida eyes and like sprinted at his opponent, like landing on him with his girth. It just like,
yeah,
it was hilarious. I loved it. But it's like okay, I wouldn't mind if it came back. It's just, again, like you said, I don't expect it. I don't see any room for it to come back. I also don't see a huge like outcry from fans for it to make a return as well, because I know I liked Sun and Moon, but I also know that was on the weaker end when it comes to popularity amongst Pokemon fans, as much as I did like that generation.
It's really weird that they made Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon after Sun and Moon. It seemed like they got like a lukewarm reception. It wasn't like back in the day, like Pokemon came out. I'm old, so I remember Pokemon came out, and then Pokemon Gold and Silver came out, and like when Gold and Silver came out, those were like people raved and were like everything about Pokemon was just massively improved in the second generation. And it has some weak mons, right? Some weak Pokemon in that generation, but overall there were some great ones, and the improvements to the game, the world, and all that stuff, like Day and Night happened, which was crazy at the time. Those big improvements really seemed like they would warrant like that secondary game, like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, like Ultra Gold, Ultra Silver, right? But I don't hear a lot of people going, you know what I really need back in my life is Z crystals. Like that, it's not Pokemon.
Girth to destroy my enemies. That's what I need back in my game.
Yeah, exactly. It's and if maybe I think if the fans really wanted it, then but I just don't hear any kind of like I need this back. Like it's like Megas is much more convincing, right? Because you hear people all the time
Megas were
rave
so
about Megas.
Cool. Megas were so cool. Megas were Gigantamax done right, because the thing with Dynamax to me is that it's not individualized as much as it should be. They just kind of like took their mouse scroll wheel and scaled up the models of some of the Pokemon. That was it. And they're just big and a little weak. Whereas Mega Evolution, every Pokemon that got it, which wasn't every Pokemon, was unique. It was cool, but that's a different discussion. I don't want to delve too much into some off topic.
I feel like that's where like Gigantamax comes in. And you
Yeah.
know, when we look at Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, really those are the result of the tinkering with Megas, with Z crystals, right? Because all of the stuff from Megas and Z crystals went into Dynamax and Gigantamax respectively, right?
Yeah.
Gigantamax is basically Z crystal plus Mega.
Yeah, you get a different form and a special like specialty over the top ridiculous anime style move. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think so that's like when we talk about Megas and things like that coming back, in Let's Go, I could see why they wouldn't bring, well, obviously they, you know, they wouldn't bring Z crystals back because it's like pre Alola, right? But then they brought Megas back and that was, you know, pre X and Y. So but like you said, the kind of building up of that space-time thing, I'm actually curious to see what they pull from different games because of that.
I am very, very, very curious because there's so much they can do with Giratina's Distortion of Realms and bridging worlds together. I think that'll be it'd be really cool. But that's it today, guys. I think we're pretty solid on our on what we feel. It's not coming. I mean, obviously we can't say for certain, but deep in our hearts, I think we know here, and you guys know watching at home, that it's Z crystals aren't making a return anytime soon. But let us know in the comments what you think. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and if you liked the video, go ahead and click the little thumbs up. I'm the Platinum Chin here with little Bobby. Stay tuned for more upcoming Pokemon videos, news, updates, and all things gaming. And we will catch you next time, guys. See you later.